Hey if like YouTube, welcome back to another episode of Dead Man's Chest. Okay, so some bad news. Unfortunately, due to my accident, I just wasn't able to look after the tank. I'm not fit to look after it now. So the best thing was just to sell everything. So I sold the whole lot in a winner. Got a really good price for it. So we're quite happy with that. So unfortunately, that's the end of the line for this build, I'm afraid. Nah, I'm only kidding. No, I just thought I'd make a quick video. I'm still in pain, but I can walk about with a video camera. So here's a look at the sump, and as you can see, the skimmer. So now you can see why I moved the electrics, because when the skimmer goes crazy, it goes crazy. It makes quite a mess. So this is about 6 days worth of skimmate. My wife won't touch it, my son won't touch it, so this is just going to have to stay until I'm fit enough to get it changed. Right, so now I'll just have a quick look at the tank, and I must say it is absolutely soul destroying. Lying on the sofa, taking all this morphine and stuff, and looking at this tank just slowly deteriorating. It is kind of gut wrenching, but there's nothing I can do about it. I've just got to just leave it, and once I'm fit enough to actually do stuff on it, I'll get stuck in and get stuff done. But just now, it's quite heartbreaking, to tell you the truth. It's slowly going downhill. As you can see, there's green hair algae starting to form. There's cyano starting to appear in certain spots of the tank as well. There's quite a bit of cyano in this top corner here as well, and some hair algae. It's quite depressing, really, but there's nothing I can do about it. These things happen, so you just get to roll with the punches. But what doesn't kill you only makes you stronger. So I keep telling myself anyway. So yeah, so I just thought I'd let you see how the tank's looking, and as you can see, it's not too good. And here's a little front view of the tank. You'll maybe notice that there is quite a few new corals, and some corals have been moved. I'll talk about that in a later video, or I'll maybe add it on at the end of this video. Maybe do this in stages. When I'm a bit better, I'll film another part of it. Maybe when I've managed to be fit enough to do a bit of a clean or water change on it, because this tank, it hasn't had a water change done on it now for, must be about coming up for 5 weeks. And I know a lot of people don't like doing water changes, and they go for months if not years without doing them, but personally I like doing them and I see the benefits of doing them. So by not doing it, I can actually notice here a decline in my tank due to this. But it's not only that, to be fair, because I'm not feeding the tank, my wife and son have been feeding the tank, and you know yourself, it doesn't matter how much you tell somebody to feed the tank, when it's in the hands of somebody that doesn't care nothing about reef tanks or feeding fish, you know fine that they're throwing way more in than is needed. So unfortunately, there's been more nutrients going into the tank than the system can handle. And I suppose it's just a bit like somebody that's not doing any exercise but carries on eating as if they were doing exercise. You're going to get fat, you know what I mean, if you're not burning it off. And unfortunately my tank ain't burning it off just now. It's getting way more than it needs, and it's just slowly starting to go into decline. The only coral that has suffered was the pink Montipora, but to be fair, that thing just wasn't doing good for the day I got it, to be honest. Okay, so feeling a wee bit better, and I managed to rope in my son to give me a hand, and we've managed to get a water change done in the tank. And I've finally managed to get my calc washer going again, because for about the last 3 weeks there's been absolutely no dose in calc washer, nothing on the tank. It was just getting the RO topped up with fresh water from my wife, and that was it. So the parameters were kind of all over this place, but thanks to the calc getting back in, we've managed to get it all back up and running. And as you can see, the tank is looking a lot better. Still some little spots of diatoms and stuff, but that's to be expected, you know what I mean? It takes a while to get, when you start getting an algae problem and stuff like that, it takes a while to get rid of it. There's no quick fix. I mean, obviously I could like put the whole tank in darkness for about 3 days or something, and then take it off and it'd be looking brilliant. But the thing is, it's just like a band-aid. You have to tackle the underlying problem, otherwise the thing's just going to come back and bite you in the arse. So you just grab it by the flipping head, rip the head off, and the beast's not going to come back and haunt you. So that's what we've started to do, and I must admit it's looking a lot better. So now when I'm lying on the sofa, which is my bed, I still haven't slept in my own bed yet because I can't lie flat, which kind of sucks. But on the plus side, I get to look at this tank lying on the sofa, and I watch this tank more than I do TV. So I'm a lot happier now looking at this than I was seeing the mess it was. However, doing this little clean, it did take it out of me, and I've been in agony since, but I'm not going to do anything else. I'm just going to leave it as it is. So it was definitely worth it. I'll take you in and I'll give you a wee closer look at the tank, and I'll talk about some of the new corals that we've got, because I haven't talked about them yet. So the little zoanthid garden, as you can see, it's doing pretty good. A lot of new polyps have been coming up on the laser lemons, sunny D's, steel blues and the rastas. I did lose one little colony, I don't know where they went. I think they got blown off, or the algae kind of took over them. And those orange and blue ones, I can't remember what they're called, fire and ice or something. I'm not really very good at names with the zoanthids, because like I said, I've never had a zoanthid garden before, so I'm not very good with the names. The trumpet coral, it's doing really good. It's actually starting to, it's got 2 mouths on it, so it's in the process of actually splitting it into 2 heads. So it's just, looks as if it's just starting to do that just now. So that's pretty cool. The Duncan, this thing's pretty bulletproof. It just continues to thrive and grow. This thing's on steroids, I swear to God. It's just constantly growing, but I can't complain, I love it. The Blasto, I moved it down there. I did this way before my accident, and I've moved the Fabia down there as well, which I'll explain later on. The hammer coral's doing really well. It's not fully opened yet. The Gonapora still doing nice in its location, and as you can see, because of the new frags I got, I had to move the torch coral, so I've moved it to this location and it's absolutely loving life. The maze coral is doing really well. So the rockwork's kind of changed slightly, and I'll explain why I've done this later on. But as you can see, the rockwork's looking a lot better than it was. It's starting to get some of the green on it, which is good. Yeah, the pussy coral, it's looking good. Some new corals, some new frags. I've got an orange Montipora, digitata, red Millipora, a few other pieces. The maze coral, like I said, is doing really well. I've got a new piece of orange Monticap, and this green Monticap has changed. It's like gone to like a really light pastel colour. I've added a little Gorgonian. The pink Hystrix is doing really well, and a Stylophora pistillata purple, a Bali Slimer, Acropora valida, Acroporia tenuis I think it is, and then there's a turquoise Millipora. So the beauty of actually having my lights on this wires attached to the ceiling is, when I get new corals, rather than fiddling about with your settings on your phone, all I need to do is just pull the wires, get the lights really high up off the tank, exact same way as I used to do it with my metal halides, and then every day I just lower the lights down a little bit until they're at the height that I like them, and by that time the corals are used to it, and I've not had any bleaching, any problems, so it's worked out really well. And one of the other changes I made here was, there used to be a rock here. So this rock, this used to be where Scarlet would hide behind, but I wanted to remove it because it was just causing detritus build up. So as you can see, it looks way better, and there's better flow through that cave and around that section. So that piece of rock, I then took it and I added it up at the top here. And this created this extra shelf where the orange digitata is on, and it looks pretty cool. And then the other section, I had that little cave there, it was blocked off with a flat piece, and this section here underneath, there's quite a lot of rock that was actually in the sand and underneath the sand, and that again was causing detritus build up. So here's the rocks that I'm on about. So I removed these and changed it slightly, so I've made this little overhang here as well, and this has created a nice area for a zoanthid garden or whatever corals I choose to add later on. So that's really nice, and as you can see, it's nice and open, and I've only actually got 3 rocks. 2 of the rocks are about the size of my hand, and the other ones maybe the size of 2 hands, but that's all that's in contact with the sand bed. And doing this has definitely made the flow around the tank a lot better, because really you do not want lots and lots of rocks in contact with the sand, because that's the areas where the detritus is going to build up and then obviously pollute your tank. So the less rock that you have actually got in contact with the base, the better. And I'm really happy with the aquascape because I've managed to create quite a lot of real estate for corals and quite a lot of room, and there's actually only 3 spots that's actually in contact with the substrate. So as you can see here, there's plenty of room for corals, and yeah, so really happy with how it's turned out. And just moving that rocks about, I think's made the aquascape look even better, in my opinion anyway. Some people might have preferred it the way it was, but I definitely like the way it is now, and I think it's a lot cleaner along the sand bed as well. So overall, I'm very happy with how the tank's looking, and I'll be even happier when I'm fit and healthy and able to actually get stuck in and give the tank a really good clean and can get things looking even better. And now that I'm adding more SPS, obviously I'm going to be having to think about the flow and adjusting that, maybe getting a new pump or something, just to increase the flow around the tank, because like everybody knows, SPS requires quite a lot of flow, and that's kind of where the challenge is if you're doing a mixed tank, because with a mixed tank you've got LPS and softies that like lower flow, SPS likes higher flow, so generally speaking you are actually better picking one or the other, and it's a lot easier that way. But personally I actually prefer a mixed reef. I think it looks better and I like the diversity, so it's a bit more challenging, but what's life without a challenge? It's boring. So yeah, I'm gonna stick with a mixed reef, and I think we should be able to get the flow adjusted and get something looking really good. It'll suit all the corals. But overall, I just thought I'd give you guys an update on how the tank's doing. And like I say, I do apologise that I've not been fit to actually do the competition, but I will get around to it when I'm better. So that's pretty much it for this episode. I'd just like to take this opportunity to thank everyone, each and every one of you that's actually sent me best wishes and get well soon messages and stuff. It's absolutely overwhelming, and thank you very much. Really means a lot to me. Thank you to all the subscribers, thank you to all the new subscribers, and anybody that's took the time to make a comment, give me a thumbs up on my videos. I really appreciate it, and if it wasn't for you guys I wouldn't bother making these videos. So every like, every comment certainly motivates me to keep making the videos and keep the channel going. So thank you very much guys, and until the next time, bye bye.